Hey everybody. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to have a 10 out of 10 conversation, or at least how to evaluate where you are with your communication and your conversations. So we will be distributing at the upcoming workshop this document, this evaluation form. And basically what it is, it's a way for you to figure out on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I with my team in terms of our communication, our trust, our relationship building. So it walks you through these questions in terms of how to evaluate, what does a 10 out of 10 conversation look like? So let's just say you're having a one-on-one meeting with somebody, or you're having a team evaluation where you say, hey, on a scale of 1 out of 10, how would you say our team communicates with one another? And let's just say everybody drops in their numbers and it's on average, it's a 7. The question then becomes, well, what do we have to do to take it from a 7 to an 8? And then have that conversation with your teams to say, well, if we had more one-on-one meetings, if we had more social time together, whatever it is that your team comes up with, you can really build on that to start saying, okay, let's work on what we've discussed here. And then in a few months, let's reevaluate and see where we are. Now, where this can be really helpful is if you're having an issue, maybe you have an issue with a colleague on your team and you want to improve that relationship. So you can honestly say, hey, let's talk about where we are. What do we need to do to get from a 5 to a 6 or a 6 to a 7? You don't have to make huge leaps. So the evaluation is really helpful in terms of improving these conversations. Um, there's a lot of conversation that you can have to get to the next level. So we know that level 1 is where we don't have trust in each other. Maybe we've had a conflict. Maybe we have to have that difficult conversation, and you want to figure out, well, what do we have to do to get to either conditional trust or high trust? So what are some ways you can move the number around? And here I've prompted you with different questions that you can ask each other. What do we do more of? What should we do less of? What should we do differently? These difficult conversations will come up in your career. They'll also come up randomly at different times. And this is a good tool to use to say, before we have a difficult conversation, let's evaluate where we are in terms of our communication, or let's evaluate once a year where we are in our communication as a team so that we can continually work on it and improve it. Step 3 is, what can we do differently? What do we want to try to do? And how do we want to be held accountable for it? So these are great tools that you can use to improve your communication, your connection, and the trust you have on your team, which will ultimately facilitate having those difficult conversations and those uncomfortable conversations, because you'll know that you have good connection with everybody that you're working with. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.